What is good? What is up? It's Jordan, Texans Thoughts, and we're back with another live stream. We're back with another Member Monday, to be exact. We started this series off last week. It's just a chill, casual stream. I talk with y'all, answer your questions in chat. We might have a few topics here and there coming from the exclusive Discord. If you want to join that, link's in the description. But yeah, how y'all doing, guys? What's up? We got Money Matt. He is here. Woo! We got the boy Jay. He is one of our Texans Thoughts team leaders. And if you saw last week's Member Monday, he joined the live stream. So if you guys want to join the live stream, talk ball with your boy, hit that link in the description. Join the team. Join the team. We got Beige. We got Primetime Bari. We got my boy Ryan in the building. Ryan, it's been a minute, dude. How are you? Oh my goodness. We'll have you guys all on today, as well as Willie Boy P, another one of our leaders. We got Tony. What's good, my guy, Tony? Joseph. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I love making it for y'all. I'm glad you guys enjoy, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And the season is here, man. So the content is only going to ramp up. And speaking of which, I was working on a Damian Pierce video today. It is almost done being edited. I'll finish it up after this stream, after I get some food. But basically, I just want to break down all 5 of his amazing damn runs. 5 carries, 49 yards. He looked beautiful out there, man. My son, my guy, he looked so good out there for the Houston Texans. I'll be breaking down, what I saw from those runs, the scheme, what Pierce was doing well. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Video should be out tomorrow. Beige just got to work. It's the morning for my guy down under. Oh my goodness, he's on the grind. The 9 to 5. Really, the 9 to 5 is watching Texans Thoughts stream. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Beige, for tuning in. Tenacious. He wants to eliminate all wide receiver screens. Man, did we get even any positive yardage on those 2 screens Davis Mills threw? I'm not sure. First one I remember was he threw it to Chris Conley to the right. Brevin Jordan missed the block. Conley got tackled in the backfield. I don't remember the second one, though. Beard don't lie, you know, Ryan's good, amazing. Who looked worse, Hacker? Penning? Honestly, Penning was a freaking turnstile in pass protection, dude. Absolute turnstile. Ogbo Okoronkwo, number 45, defensive end. He had him on skates. He had him on absolute skates, beat him to the outside, beat him to the inside. He had 4 pressures, a sack, and 2 of his 4 pressures led to teammate sacks for the Texans, right? So that guy had one of the most impactful days on the defensive side of the ball. So I would say Penning was worse, man. Heck, at least didn't have like the loud mistakes that led to sacks, that led to pressures. You know what I mean? He didn't do anything good, but he wasn't atrocious either. That's my thoughts on that. All right, Beige. Let him know. Oh man, what a step up from David Johnson. Lordy. Deshaun versus the Jags. I've heard Deshaun has not looked too hot. Is that correct? For my people who have watched Browns games so far, I have not. See, that's the problem, man. That's the problem with PFF. The grading system ain't always that accurate, man. Now, I like the articles that they write, the breakdowns that they do, but just slapping a number grade on a player, for me, will never usually do it justice, especially when they're as inaccurate as they typically are. McCray kind of started off sluggish. Yeah, the whole first-team O-line did not look great, especially the interior. They definitely missed Britt in there. Quessenberry was not good, number 54, the center. McCray was not good. I think he had a holding penalty as well. Who played at right guard? I didn't notice AJ Cam too much, so. Okay, we will definitely be talking about the play calling. First thing I wanted to go through before we get to the play calling was the cuts for today. Texans roster had to get down to, I believe is going down from 90 to 85 by tomorrow at like 3 p.m. or something like that. So in the next day or so, we're going to have 3 more cuts. They had 2 cuts today. First being Jordan Jenkins. Aaron Wilson reports Texans cutting veteran defensive end Jordan Jenkins, who had been on the physically unable to perform list with a strained calf injury. This gives him a chance to catch on with another team with the timing of the injury. His health has improved. So, unfortunately, Jordan Jenkins didn't get to show anything for the Texans. He was more of a depth guy last year, never really flashed too much. And now we brought in a whole lot of new defensive ends. You got Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison will get bulk of the snaps opposite of Jonathan Grenard. And then you got two guys that showed out Saturday night in the preseason game. Okoronkwo, as I just mentioned, 4 pressures, 1 sack. And Derek Rivers, 2 sacks himself in the game-ending sack. So those two guys should take the 5th and the 6th defensive end spots. No room for Jordan Jenkins, man. So best of luck to Jordan Jenkins. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Health has always been kind of his issue throughout his career. If he can stay healthy, I think he's got something in the tank. He can be a good depth guy, but hasn't been able to stay healthy, unfortunately. Alrighty. Second cut of the day, Texans cutting Chad Beebe. Wide receiver. Jalen Camp had a better preseason game. Johnny Johnson had a better preseason game. Chad Beebe was quiet. So damn quiet, you can put a baby to sleep. That's how quiet he was, man. So goodbye. Wide receiver room would probably stack up to be, you got your locks, you got Cooks, you got your Collins. And then I think they will have, there's no particular order. I'm not listing depth chart or whatever, but they'll take Chris Moore. They'll probably take Chris Conley just for his veteranness. And it's been 2 years now in this kind of offense. So he can kind of help the youngsters in that sense. After forward already gets kind of hard. You'd want to take one of Jalen Camp or Johnny Johnson. I would say whichever one of those guys performs better throughout the rest of the preseason, the next 2 weeks. Take one of those guys. And then maybe you're taking Philip Dorsett. He's probably a bit of a lock, I think, between him and Chris Moore. They'll probably rotate for the slot reps. And then maybe it's Chester Rogers. Probably not. He's been pretty quiet. But that would probably be the 6 guys there. 6 wide receivers for ya. All right, let me catch up on chat. Okay, perfect. We're talking about wide receivers. John Garza wants to know, what did I think about Camp and Johnson? I liked what I saw from Camp more than Johnson. Johnson had a drop early, but then he made up for it with that nice spin move to get Yak. I shouldn't even say nice spin move. I should say 5 nice spin moves. God damn. I know that reminded some of y'all about that DeAndre Hopkins spin move versus the Cowboys to seal the game. Very different circumstances. Not trying to compare it that way, but that's what it reminded me of. Putting a little spin cycle, a little washing machine. Whew. So I like that. And then the game-winning touchdown by Johnson as well. It was solid flashes. This is a youngster. It was good to see that, he was making plays and he looked like he belonged on the field. And it wasn't like the game was too fast for him or anything. So good things out of Johnson. But I did like Camp a lot, mainly because of his athleticism, his route running, and his size. He's a big guy at 6'2". And he can move, When you have size, you have athleticism, and you have route running, that's a really, really good combination, man. So he caught the touchdown on the fade route from Jeff Driscoll, jumped over and extended around the cornerback for a nice catch. And then he had a big 50-yarder, and it was 49 yards on the final offensive drive to get the Texans over midfield. And if you see the route on that one, if you can go back and watch it, he cooks that DB. He cooks that DB to separate, man. So I liked it. I want to see more, though. Not ready to say, Camp is going to be wide receiver 3. He's going to take the slot reps. Not ready to say that yet, because who also I did like was Chris Moore. Chris Moore just showed off what he showed last year, is that his hands, man, he's got maybe some of the best hands on this team. Last year, he only had 1 target that didn't go for a reception. Let me get the actual numbers here, because I always forget what the exact things. It's either 21 catches on 22 targets or 20 on 21. Okay, he had 22 targets for 21 catches. That's kind of absurd. His catch percentage was 95%. Of course, it's a small sample size, but it shows off, if you're getting thrown the ball, you're securing it. And we saw that again in the preseason. First target to him, deep bomb by Driscoll down the sideline. They call him more for OPI, but man, just to make that catch around 2 defenders on the sideline like that was impressive. Couldn't keep his feet in bounds, of course, but it was impressive hands. And then he had 2 other catches in the game where he's coming over across the middle of the field and a defender is draped all over him, and it don't matter. He's hanging on to that. So I like the secure hands out of Chris Moore. He's a dependable guy, I think, which will be good for Mills. All right. Let's keep it going. Page says Jenkins, Beebe, and a couple of other small names gone today. Exactly. Thank you for the recap. Ooh, we got to talk about this one. Natanen Tipdarat. I completely apologize for butchering that. But he says Lonnie Johnson Jr. is gone from the Chiefs too. Lonnie got cut. It's mid-August, man. It's early in the season to be getting cut. Like that's when like Chiefs people look at Lonnie Johnson like we look at Chad Beebe. You know what I mean? Being one of the first few cuts on the team. Like no one expected Chad Beebe to make the roster. So clearly, no one really expected Lonnie Johnson to make the roster. Kind of a bad look, but I hope the dude can catch on somewhere. I mean, he is a physical specimen, good size, good straight line speed, but he's a long way away from contributing on an NFL roster, man. Long way away. Perhaps I was close to getting there, man. I was close to getting there. I think it's definitely between him and Cooks for the best hands on team. I don't know, man. It's a discussion. It is a discussion. Chris Moore is earning it. Yes, sir. Jay says it perfectly. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys can subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. That would be insane. I don't believe there's, I actually shouldn't say that. But what I should say is that your guys' support means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. And I'm trying to, see where this can go. So anything you can do to support, I appreciate it. All right. Let me keep it going. Okay, we talked about the cuts. Let's talk about the play calling, and then I'll get to some more questions from the Discord. John, is Pep going to keeping it vanilla? I will say, I will guarantee you he doesn't keep it vanilla throughout the regular season. But in the preseason, I wouldn't be surprised if this is roughly what we see. To give more context to Davis Mills' performance and why the play calling was what it was, they couldn't run the damn ball. That's what it really was. At the end of the day, like a run play call, like is so dependent on the execution and the blocking of the offensive line. And on the very first play, we missed the block on a linebacker. The center was working a double team with the right guard, and he's supposed to combo off and go block the linebacker. He never did. He stayed on the double team forever. And the linebacker just comes running through into the backfield and tackles Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack can't do nothing about that. Davis Mills can't do nothing about that. It's on the O-line. So this team needs to get a lot better blocking out of the interior of their offensive line if they want this whole offensive system to work. Because with Pep's scheme, it's really dependent on them being able to generate the run game. Then you can expand the passing game. Then it's not all just quick passes underneath stuff. Then they really believe that if you can get the running game going, the defense will come up into the box, start biting on run fakes, then you play action it, and then boom, then you can let it go downfield, and it'll be so much easier. Because if that isn't open, if defenses aren't sucking up already, then that means that they're playing the pass instead, right? If you're not playing the run, you're playing the pass. And if defenses are playing the pass and setting on the over the top stuff in terms of deep passes, then you're just asking Davis Mills to force bad throws downfield, and that can lead to turnovers. So that's kind of what the philosophy, I guess, would be behind Pep's, pro-style West Coast offense. I know Tears Texan, you had a question on that in the Discord. You wanted to know kind of what his offense is like. He's going to run a lot of under center stuff. He's going to run a lot of pistol in terms of formations. It will be a run-first offense, and he'll try and get that, established with Marlon Mack, Dameon Pierce, Rex Burkhead. They'll go by committee there. They'll also run in terms of personnel. They'll run a lot of 2 tight end sets. We've talked about that a lot this offseason. So you'll get plenty of Pharaoh Brown, plenty of Brevin Jordan, and it also means you're only really running 2 wide receivers a lot of the time. So we went over formation, we went over personnel, we went over philosophy for the Pep Hamilton offense. I hope that makes sense for you guys. And I guess to give an example to what I was talking about, the philosophy before, like run to set up the pass, when Dameon Pierce got in there, Dameon Pierce was the reason why Jeff Driscoll was able to throw it deep and Davis Mills wasn't. Right? Because Dameon Pierce fueled that run game. He actually made it work. The blocking was not much better, but he found gaps. He broke tackles. He was patient. He let his blocks develop. He manipulated linebackers. I'm going to show this all tomorrow on the film breakdown video I'll be uploading on this channel. So stay tuned. Check it out tomorrow, probably up in the morning, 9 a.m. Watch it before work. Watch it during lunch, when you get home from work, whatever it is. But yeah, Dameon Pierce was the reason that Jeff Driscoll was able to throw it deep. Because he damn had 9.8 yards per carry, man. Of course the defense is going to start biting down, being more aggressive to sell out for the run, and then boom, you can hit him over top. So I hope that speaks to, the play calling disparity, why Pep Hamilton had to call screens for Mills because, the run game was horrible, and so they were set back to like 2nd and 17. They had penalties, and at that point, 3rd and forever, if you drop back and really ask your quarterback to try and go for that, you're putting him in a really good position to get sacked. And in the preseason, you don't want your quarterback to be taking any hits. You really don't. So that's why Pep Hamilton's offense and play calling looked very vanilla, conservative. In Davis Mills' drives, because the run game didn't work, versus Jeff Driscoll's drives, where they had Dameon Pierce to make the run game work. There you go. Appreciate it, John. Ryan says, how am I supposed to know if the scheme is working when only 2 out of the 5 starters play? Exactly. That's the other thing is, like, at the end of the day, it's preseason, man. Like, we're not going to get the full picture out of this, but we can get bits and pieces and little tidbits from each game to learn from. How long does Davis play this upcoming game against LA? I would guess that they give him maybe a full quarter, because preseason is different now, right? It's 3 weeks instead of 4. And so typically in the 4-week preseason, the last game, the 4th game, would be all for, the roster bubble guys, and the starters wouldn't play at all. Typically, maybe 1st game they barely play, 4th game they don't play. 2nd game they ramp up a bit from the 1st game. 3rd game is like almost you're playing the starters like 3 quarters, right? So now with only 3 games instead of 4, that 3rd game could be reserved for the roster bubble guys. And the 2nd game is your dress rehearsal, where you're going to play longer. That could be one route that they go. I'm not on the coaching staff. They should hire me, though. But that would be my guess. They give him at least a quarter or 2 next week. We saw how that happened when Pierce ran all over the Saints. The offense worked well. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. Let Jimmy play. I did like Jimmy Morrissey, Ryan. That's your guy. That's our guy. I liked what I saw of him. I didn't think he was like pancaking guys, but he was at least making the right blocks and holding his blocks. So I think he's a better backup center as well. Whew, yes, sir, Mario. That's the other thing Pierce showed is in pass protection. He had that amazing rep on a play action pass where he just leveled the linebacker. He got low, he got under him, flipped him up, knocked him off the play, man. So Pierce has it all. Great runner, great pass protector, underrated receiver as well. What's up, 00 Tux Given? He said, I thought Pep was going to use this no-coast offense and run some RPO as extensions of the run game. There's really, I wouldn't say it's as much of a RPO heavy offense, but to get to those RPOs, you need to first establish the run, and they couldn't do that with Marlon Mack. So I think they can sprinkle it. They will sprinkle it in here and there, but it's not going to be as like a staple of their offense, in my opinion. But really what they need to do is just improve the run game, because that will be really the driving force for everything. If that doesn't work, the offense isn't going to work. Simple as that. Absolutely right. Absolutely right, my guy. Why are you late? What's your excuse, huh? You're good, dude. You're good. Okay. I've been wanting to say, I have a feeling Pep has been getting ready his whole life to prove he's a genius OC. Yeah, man. It's been a while since his last OC stints with the Colts. It's been at least 6-7 years. So he might not get another one. And you'd believe that he would go balls to the wall, throw everything he's got at this opportunity with a quarterback he's comfortable in, Davis Mills. And I think we will continue and progressively see more and more of that as we get deeper into the preseason, as we get into the regular season. But we need that run game to work. I think we will. I think we'll carry 3 quarterbacks, especially because probably we haven't been able to see too much out of Kyle Allen just yet because of the COVID. And so we weren't able to see him in the first game. So Driscoll ain't going to get cut like anytime soon. If he does get cut, he'll be one of the last cuts, in my opinion. No, I don't believe he did. I mean, they only threw the ball 2 times or 3 times, I believe, and 2 of them were screens. And the other one was just an out route to Chris Conley because it was 3rd and 17, and they just want to get the ball out. Give me Puka Williams. Puka Williams, running back out of Kansas. I believe he got drafted or undrafted to the Cincinnati Bengals. Got cut today. I would love it too, Ryan. That dude's got juice. If Mark's watching, Mark, bring in Puka. Our running back room did not look too hot yesterday. Part of that was the O-line. Part of that was also the running backs just not looking good apart from Dameon Pierce. I didn't think Royce Freeman was anything special. He kind of looked like he was running in sand. Marlon Mack, blocking was really horrible. Not a lot to say about him. He did have 1 5-yard run, which was solid. But I would definitely be down to add Puka Williams as your 4th running back. He's a young guy, man. Young guy, smaller dude, but he got juice. He'd be good in the passing game at least. And we could use that. Have him learn from Rex Burkhead. All right, so let me go through the Discord. If you guys do want to join my community Discord, the Texans Thoughts team, links in the chat. I believe it only, or not in the chat, in the description. I do believe, unfortunately, it only works on if you're on your computer, your laptop, etc. If you're on mobile, you're going to have to switch over just to join it. But once you do, man, you get exclusive content when you're in the Discord. You get to talk with I think it's over 100 people that are in the Discord. And it's really just a family type vibe there. Ask any questions, talk about anything you want in terms of Texans, in terms of Astros, any Houston sports, Rockets, whatever you want. Ask me questions. Oh, Mark's in the Discord. Mark, where you at? Why aren't you in the stream? Join the team. It's worth every penny. So there are 2 different tiers. Your first tier is I believe $3.99 a month or $4.99 a month. That gets you in the Discord. Second tier and all the exclusive videos and whatnot. Second tier, $9.99 a month, I want to say. And that allows you to call into the stream with your boy, which I'm about to add some people right now after I get through these other questions I needed to talk about in the Discord. Okay, we got Ryan's question about the play call difference from Mills to Driscoll. We got Tears texting about the Pep Hamilton's offense. Jay, we kind of talked the play calling. I guess we can talk about the defensive play calling. Yeah, let's do that. We got Beges on the fall of Lonnie Johnson. Perfect. Okay, we talked about the offensive play calling. Let's talk about the defensive play calling. What did we see that stood out to me? It looked obviously like the base of the defense is still Tampa 2. They didn't make any dramatic shift to say, a Seahawks cover 3 type of style. We shouldn't have been expecting that. But they did sprinkle in some more cover 3, some more cover 1. They brought Jalen Petry down from deep into the box. And so I like that. And when Petry made his plays, it was when he was in the box, closer to the ball, closer to be able to get in on the run and make his tackles. So we'd love to see more of that out of Lovey. But just to preach, how the preseason works, it's going to be vanilla. I would very much expect Lovey to sit in Tampa 2 75, 80, 90% of the game in preseason. I don't believe we saw any blitzes either or any really simulated pressures. I saw 1 stunt that I can recall, but everything was very, very vanilla. It was your Haagen-Dazs at freaking 7-Eleven, man. Some store brand vanilla damn ice cream. But that's okay. Hopefully he can switch up some more in the regular season. Alrighty, let me bring in the boys. Our Texans thoughts, team leaders. Where am I throwing this in? Mod chat, I guess. That should be it. Joey's also a leader, but I don't know where Joey's at. That would be a funny one. We get Joey in here. Alrighty. We should have Jay, Money Matt, and Ryan joining us on stream, man. Beige says vanilla has its place in this world, Jordan. Sometimes it just hits the spot. Hey, I cannot disagree, Beige. When I was growing up, and honestly, probably still, vanilla ice cream is my favorite. I can't lie. It's always dependable. You know what you're gonna get no matter where you go. It's gonna be good stuff. You can put it on a lot of things. You put it on some apple pie, put it on a nice, like, freshly baked, warm cookie. It's vanilla ice cream at the end of the day. All right, Ryan doesn't have his mic. He's slacking. But first member in here, we got the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Jay. The modern person. How you doing?
How are you doing, Jordan? How is it going today?
Dude, I'm doing good. I've had a good day. What did I do today? I had a job interview that honestly went really well. I was surprised. The lady kept being like, "Oh, great answer. Oh, I love that answer." I don't know if she was just hyping me up, just telling me what I wanted to hear, but I thought it went well. So did that, did some work, recorded a video, edited a video, went to the gym. It was a good day, man. It was a good day.
It's a great day, man. Sounds like you got a job lined up.
Yeah, I'm hoping
into a big boy.
Man. I have another one tomorrow, and it's with a football media company that I think has been really ascending recently, called the 33rd Team.
Nice.
And they've been adding like so many different former players. They added Brett Favre. They've been adding so many different coaches. I can't remember them all. I'm going to pull it up right now because now I'm curious. And I am forgetting them all. But they have like so many different like our roster. Here we go. Let me share the screen. So many former execs, coaches, analysts, Bill Parcells, Bill Polian, Marvin Lewis, like Brett Favre, Michael Vick. Like I was like, why am I here? I don't belong on these
star-studded cast right there. Rich Gannon, Spielman, Cutter, Castle, the Rondé Barber there.
They got some legends.
That's Marty Morningwig.
Our boy Wade Phillips.
Wade, oh my gosh.
Right?
So that's insane.
Yeah, man. So if I were able to land that job, that would be absolutely insane. That would blow my mind. I'm still kind of shell-shocked in terms of how I even got the interview, but hey, I won't say no.
Make good work, man. That's how it goes.
I appreciate it, Jay. Oh, man. Okay. While we wait for Ryan to find his mic and maybe Money Matt to join us, let me get your thoughts on the preseason dub.
I won't lie. I started off with the Texans in preseason or mid-season form, not preseason form. They were in mid-season form to start the game. And I do agree it was a lot of bad blocks, runs up the middle. It looked like Tim Kelly was calling the offense to start. I wanted to throw up a bit. But as it went on, you could start to see, hey, there is some life in this team, particularly coming from Dameon Pierce. I had hoped to see him run more, but 9.8 yards a carry. Take that man out. We can't get him in here.
He showed what he needed to show.
Exactly. Those cuts, I dreamed about those cuts every day since I saw, like, those cuts were insane.
On that first one, that 20-yard run, he cuts outside, and he cuts inside. Ooh.
It was beautiful. I think the announcers were even like, oh my God, like they were reacting in ways that I thought they were going to break their back and fall out of their chairs with how they were reacting. They were that good. They were as advertised.
Yeah.
I do think had Mills been in there would have been more points put up. There were a couple of underthrown balls.
Yeah.
All three of those interceptions should have never been thrown. They were terrible throws. But watching them, it gave you hope again. It wants you to – it makes you want to watch the games.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going to be doing. watching
Definitely,
games.
man. It kind of reignited that fire. And I definitely agree that it was Pierce that was the spark to that. You know what I mean? Like he really, to me, he looked like he was like being like he when you watch him play, like he was like on fast forward and everyone else was on like normal speed.
Agreed. Marlon Mack, when he ran, it wasn't like he was running slow.
Yeah.
That one that he broke that 5-yard run out that was off to the side, he bounced out. I was like, oh, finally an outside. Yeah. But it was a holding call on the other side of the field. I was like, really? Even in his fastest run, he was slow. Mm-hmm. Not like he was running in sand. It was just, it didn't have that feeling of he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a perfect way to explain Pierce. Shot out of a cannon, dude. Oh my God. And Mac has like never been like a speed guy. So I'm not too worried about that. But Jay, do you think they got to make Pierce the starter week 1?
I think week 1 only because of the revenge factor. Okay. Max starts. Yeah. But I think after that, I think in that game, Pierce takes over, which allows Mac to come in and do what he wants to do, which is have a game. And then after that, it's going to be Pierce 1, probably Mac 2, and Burkhead on the 3rd down.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's honestly not even something that I even considered the revenge game, man. Gotta have the revenge game for the storylines. It's in Indianapolis. No, it's in Houston.
No, it's in Houston. Home opener.
Home opener. Damn, man. Damn. Well, maybe they'll make him the starter for the Colts game and then the first Colts game and then the second game as well.
Yeah, maybe. And that should be it. That should be all.
It's the designated Colts killer.
No offense against Matt. He ran great. He looks great. When I was there at camp, he looked awesome. It's just Pierce is a different animal.
He was, and now he's really breathing down Mac's neck in terms of the whole competition. You know what I mean? If you're Mac, you're a veteran. You know, you paid your dues in this league, but at the same time, you're still trying to prove yourself. He only signed a 1-year deal. He's still trying to get that bag while he's younger than 30. And so you'd have to think that this would motivate Mac to play his best ball, to give it his all, to, you know, give that extra effort when you're trying to run over a defender rather than just going out of bounds. So I'm hopefully we see a fire has been ignited under Marlon Mack as well.
Oh yeah, agreed, most definitely.
Hopefully. Okay, so we touched on Dameon Pierce. What about Jalen Petry, man? What'd you think about him?
Petry was all over the place. The one thing I was trying to look for was players who were in the backfield, and Petry was there often. He lived there. You might as well open up the zip code of Pitre because he was back there, man. He was always there in every play, and I think he has to be on the field as much as possible. He has to be. He is going to be the defensive spark.
Definitely. I mean, it's crazy that he had 4 tackles, one of them being a TFL in just 2 drives. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you extrapolate that over an entire game, that this guy's easily getting over double-digit tackles. Like you're talking maybe even 15 or so, which is linebacker numbers. And I tweeted out that, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Jalen Petry contended for leading the team in tackles. And, you know, I got some replies that were saying, I thought it was a good point to bring up to the discussion. Some replies saying that if your safety is leading your defense in tackles, like it's a bad look. And so 2 things on that. One thing I want to say is like, I mean, our we know I don't think anyone thinks our defense is going to be elite or anything. But also number 2 is Jay, what do you think about, do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think it doesn't really matter who's leading your team in tackles?
What position did Cam Chancellor play?
Box, damn safety.
I mean, I don't want this to be thought that I'm comparing Cam Chancellor to Jalen Petry because Cam Chancellor was a specimen, but like it is possible to have a bunch of tackles coming from that box safety position. It's possible depending on how you play your defense, and just the way he plays. He's all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about a box safety, they are essentially another linebacker. And typically your linebackers are the ones to lead the defense and tackle. So if I think you're splitting hairs at that point. care at all. I would way rather Petry lead the team in tackles than KGH or Kirksey or whoever. But Jay, we got to add the man himself, Money Matt's, into the stream. Another one of our Texas Thoughts team leaders. Appreciate you, Matt. How you doing, my
Money
guy?
Matt.
I'm doing.
Hey, let's go. The Texans flags. Okay. I like it. How you doing, man? How's your day been?
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
I've been unwinding, playing some Madden 23, so
How is Madden 23? Is it good?
It's pretty good. I like it. It feels a lot more smooth, and the animations are a whole lot better in Madden 23 than it was last year. So I'm excited for it.
Okay, so I haven't played Madden in a few years. I believe the last one I played was Madden 21. So I'm a little bit behind, but I have been thinking about getting the new Madden and playing some games with y'all, having like a connected league, doing some sort of league, some sort of something where I get to play games with y'all. Cause that would be fun.
That's the only part where EA is lacking. Madden is not cross-platform yet.
What?
Yeah, out of every game, like MLB The Show, it just came out on Xbox, I think, last year or 2 years ago. It's cross-platform. 2K, I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform. So EA's falling behind.
They are. They're slacking. We gotta send them a meanly worded email.
Got to.
I saw a question in the chat here that I did want to ask both of you guys. Natanan says, should the Texans sign T.Y. Hilton for 1 week to double the revenge factor with Max starting week 1? Money Matt, I'll start with you and then we'll go to Jay. What you thinking?
Absolutely. Full pettiness. I like it. He always said NRG was the second home. Let's make it true.
Let's make it true, man. I would say he's arguably the most talented wide receiver left in free agency. The Texans do need more weapons. They could add that third guy behind Cooks and Collins. I would be for it. Jay, what about you?
I'm kind of against this, man. Like I like
No.
I like the TY, but nah, man. Like
What is it? You can't see someone who killed us so much play for us, or
I have to think about as much as I hate our division, right? Everybody else, and there's that big rivalry. When we saw Andre Johnson in another division rivals jersey, that was I couldn't see it. I couldn't.
That killed me, dude.
It's gonna kill them. It's gonna kill us because we're gonna be like, man, we hated on this dude for years. For the pettiness, yeah, I'm all for the petty, but I don't know if that's in the team's best interest. For that, I would rather go for someone else.
Well, I think I would push back on that, play devil's advocate, and say in the team's best interest is getting Davis Mills as many weapons as possible, man.
Fair.
And T.Y. Hilton is definitely a step up from Moore, Conley, Camp, Johnson. I know I just talked and gave them some praise, but T.Y. is in a different tier in terms of proven ability. But I do hear where you're coming from, man. Is there another wide receiver that you would want them to go with, or do you want to stick with the guys on the roster?
I want to see who gets cut first. I think that's the thing we need to see. Who's going to get cut? Who's going to be made available in trades? Ty might be the best one out there. It would be really fun to watch him and Mac on the same team, but that could be like Gore and Andre, AJ80 on the same team, and that wasn't fun to watch. So we'll see.
Jay's not a fan. Money Matt and I are a fan. I would like it. Beige asked OBJ.
That is my guy. If you can get OBJ on a cheap deal, it's over. That becomes your number one receiver right there.
Jay, are we forgetting about Cooks?
Did you forget about OBJ?
Oh, damn.
Did you forget about that, man? Did you see what he did before he tore his ACL? He was tearing it up. It wasn't like he was lost it. No, that man was on it. Keyword before the ACL. How's he looking after, though?
I could be wrong, but isn't Will Fuller still a free agent?
Let's not. If we bring in Will Fuller, if we're in a playoff hunt, we need 2 games. That's what we're bringing in Fuller for. Save him for that.
Okay. OBJ, wide receiver 1. Jay, over Brandon Cooks.
Over Brandon.
I can't let you just go on that one.
Better hands, bigger body.
God
He's
damn.
not faster. He's pretty quick. But he's a big boy, man. He can do it. Nah, man. Y'all look crazy if you're like, this is OBJ, bro. Look at this.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. OBJ or Cooks would be wide receiver 1, man. Money Matt, what do you think? Am I crazy?
What's that?
Am I the only one that believes Cooks is better than OBJ?
Really put me on the spot here. I'm taking Cooks over OBJ.
Oh,
but
homering it right now. Let's be objective.
But,
ooh, the chat agrees. I'm sorry, Jay. Agassi says Cooks. Watch the film. Hey, my boy, watch the film. He knows, okay? He knows the film won't lie.
You're right. The film don't lie. Go watch the film. Go watch OBJ.
I have 2 points. First point, Agassi brings it up. We're trying to fix our culture. It looks like we're on the right path with that. Jay, do you believe OBJ's talent is worth maybe potentially having to deal with a setback in the culture?
Would he set the culture back? He didn't with the Rams.
The Rams were a different team, though. The Rams were
a different team.
Not
the Giants, I think there was some craziness. He let a little drama go to his head.
Yeah.
I think he's a little older. He's a little wiser. But, yeah, I mean, he's a dream fit for me, right? I think that would be a great way to spend a little bit of money and get a lot of talent here. I'm not saying we should absolutely go get him.
Right. No, I hear you. On paper, the talent would be a very fun addition. From a pure just watching the team on the field perform perspective, I would love to see it, man. I would love to see you got Cooks and OBJ and Nico. Suddenly Mills has got weapons for days. So it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. What's up, my boy Paul? How you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, my guy. I feel like he'll be frustrated with the rebuild. I agree as well. OBJ was a diva in New England and Cleveland, but settled once out of those environments. Yeah, and I guess you think like not New England. I don't know if I said New England, New York. I guess you would say that New York has a similar was in a similar position as the Texans are now as a rebuilding team. Cleveland, on the other hand, they were kind of a playoff push type of team. So I don't know that there's anything like I'm trying to find like a pattern between those environments that made him kind of act out versus the Rams. And I guess you would say the Rams were, a Super Bowl contender. They had other stars on the team to hold him accountable. Do the Texans have those players to hold him accountable? Can Brandon Cooks keep OBJ's head on straight? You think so, Jay?
I'm not so sure it would have to falling on just Brandon Cooks, probably not. But I would say that there is a little bit of a pattern. Both of those franchises were reported to be, and I'm not saying that they are, but both of those were reported to be poorly run franchises at the time.
Right.
And that is not the case. Based off this last year and what we've kind of seen going into this year, that has not been the case this year with the Texans. I think there is some structure in place there. So.
I do agree with Games Michael James when he says, I would take OBJ over Collins. If I were the GM, he would be the number 2. I do think so. I think he already comes with a proven track record. And he probably wouldn't sign with us unless he would be guaranteed, at least number 1 or number 2 in that targets in terms of the offense. So I agree. I would agree. I want to ask you this, Money Matt. What do you think about the deep passes in the preseason game? Did you want to see more from Mills? Do you understand why he didn't air it out too much? Were you happy with what Driscoll was doing? Because he was just letting it loose.
So I would have definitely liked to see more deep passes from Mills. But then again, I do like keeping Mills' arm fresh, waiting to showcase all that in week 1. That way, when we destroy the Colts, no one's surprised. But my only problem with Driscoll is he was underthrowing the ball so much because I talked to Jay about it last night, and I didn't watch the entire game. I just watched the highlights shortly after, and there should have been at least 2 or 3 more touchdowns scored in that game.
Yeah.
Like, Bibi should have had a couple touchdowns. I think Jalen Camp should have had a couple more. But, the ball's just underthrowing so much. So hopefully with Mills, the underthrow won't be the problem.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but it's only preseason.
Yeah, it's only preseason. We'll see more, and as Paul puts it, Mills will play more games, more in the next game, and that's when we get a bigger sample size. And what I want to do is break down every throw from his next game. Hopefully, I was going to do it for the first game, but then he got 3, and 2 of them were screens, so that went out the window, and I did Damian Pierce instead. But Juan has a good question here. I don't know how realistic it is for us to try and sign Lamar Jackson next year. If he doesn't get a deal done with the Ravens, I think he eventually will. But I definitely don't think he would see us as a great destination. Am I wrong with that? Jay, what are your thoughts on this question here?
I think if we do enough drugs, he'll come here. It's not going to happen. I think Matt and I were actually talking about this yesterday. It's like free agents that are going to be free agents next year. He's gonna get a deal done, and if he didn't get a deal done, he's probably going to go to a team like Atlanta that could have a bunch of picks coming next year.
Hey, so would we.
Yes, true. He could go to a team like Miami, who is possibly a quarterback away, right? That he has better options than coming to the Texans.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that, Money Matt? Do you agree? Disagree?
I don't think Lamar comes here simply because of where we're at, and I don't think we'd be willing to throw him that much money. But it was Jay's idea to possibly bring in Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh my goodness. Okay, before we go to the Zeke talk, because that is an interesting discussion that we got that Jay is very spirited about, clearly. I just looked up. Lamar is from Florida. So your Miami prediction guess, Jay, is heating up, in my opinion. I think he could go back home. That makes sense. But Ezekiel Elliott, huh, Jay? Break it down for me.
Let me explain why I feel this way. There are a lot of rumors, and I kind of feel that they're very well founded, that Zeke could possibly be cut. Not this year, maybe, but next year. Tony Pollard is cheaper, and Tony Pollard has been not, I wouldn't say better, but he's been more consistent. And he doesn't fumble, which is a thing that Zeke has been doing. And as a guy who had Zeke in fantasy last year, he fumbled a lot, and he didn't score.
They just coming to your head this video.
I'm telling you, we're saying the same thing. Zeke isn't even the best running back in Dallas. He's not. So he could be cut, and he's expensive right now. I think him getting cut.
It's right there, Jay. It's right there.
I don't know if he gets a goofy contract though. I think he would have something to prove, and I think he has to take less money. He can't get Saquon Barkley money. He can't get Alvin Kamara money or Christian McCaffrey money because he has stuff to prove.
Jay is coming in with the hot takes.
Hey,
there's not been much agreement in the chat.
They don't like it. They don't like it, but be objective. Just because he's wearing the star on the helmet right now.
I don't know. I think Paul puts up a good point. I don't think that Nick Caesar doesn't strike me as the type to pay big money for free agents in general, let alone for a position like a running back.
That's fair. These are also my dreams, y'all. Like these are like if I had unlimited money, I would sign these people because they have talent and they're more talented. Not more than Pierce, but they're more talented than most of the people on our roster already.
Okay. So you gave us a wide receiver in OBJ. You gave us a running back in Zeke. Who else is in this dream Texans offense for you? Give me a tight end. If you could pay a tight end, who you trying to take?
We were talking Evan Ingram last night because he's the only free agent next year that was worth it. Everybody else is kind of meh. Yeah, I have had no drinks yet, but they will be coming soon. Now, Evan Ingram, I think, was the only other one that we were seeing. The tight end market doesn't look the greatest at the moment. If we could,
if Evan Ingram is the best,
the only thing that could happen is Pitts is there, but we have to trade. We have to trade. for a guy who's only played 1 year, he's played well, but 1 year, I don't know, 3 first-round picks.
No, I was just playing.
But the only other team I could
in Jay's offense. Hey, you got Jay.
Get out of here.
Might as well.
No. There is some. I think Matt and I were talking about this. How much money are the Browns going to have next year?
Bruh, salary cap is not my forte, especially other teams' salary caps. I don't even know ours, man.
I know they're going to have millions of dollars tied up in 2 quarterbacks. So,
how much do they pay Jacoby?
I don't know if they paid Jacoby a lot, but they are paying part of Baker's salary still.
Oh, still, I forgot about that. Good
and
point.
If Deshaun is out there talking about possibly trading for what's his face in San Fran, pretty boy Jimmy G. So that's a lot of money off your salary cap in just QBs.
Mm-hmm.
Will they be able to pay all their players?
So who are you trying to steal from the Browns?
I don't even know. I don't even know who you can steal.
Know exactly who you're wanting to steal, Jay.
I ain't trying to steal no Kareem Hunt. Get out of that. But yes, Chubb. If you could get Chubb, that means Chubb would be Chubb and Pierce on the same team.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jay.
Now it's never gonna happen, but these are my dreams, right? Like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We all got dreams. A Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce backfield would leave the other team in the damn ER the next day. Jesus Christ. Kareem Hunt does want out. It's a weird situation going on because it's like he's not reporting to camp, but he also hasn't formally asked for a trade, or is it vice versa? He has asked for a trade, but he is still going to camp. I can't remember. Do you guys know better than me?
I thought he did ask for a trade.
Okay. But he's still going to camp?
I thought he was possibly sitting out. I haven't looked too deep into that. But I don't even know if he's like in the OBJ boat. Will he come? Would Casario sign him? Yeah,
it's an interesting discussion because I think he honestly fits perfectly with Dameon Pierce as a 1-2 punch. You know, Kareem Hunt showed that he can be that perfect complement to a power running back like Nick Chubb. He can also take some of those third down duties for you. So it's an interesting thing. Who said yes? Michael James asked what we would give up for Kareem Hunt's. Jay, I'll start with you and then I'll go to Money Matt's. What type of draft capital are we talking? Or would you rather give maybe a player and like a later pick?
That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. What do we want to give up?
Especially because you have to pay him soon. That's his whole thing. He's looking for money.
He has to play for that money, though, right? I mean, he comes here and is garbage. Do we want to pay him?
Okay. Well,
that's a tough one.
It's a tough one to go off. Someone with the chat is saying Paul will give up a third and a sixth. Stephons will give up a third. Are you in that same ballpark, Jay, or do you have other thoughts?
I think that's fair. A third, maybe not a second. I think a third. The third and the sixth is probably what you get.
Money Matt?
I was probably thinking like a fourth and a sixth or a fourth and a fifth, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was landing too, just because at the end of the day, you're trading and paying for. It's not Nick Chubb. It's the second best running back on the Browns. You know what I mean? And Kareem Hunt would be the best running back on a few other teams. But when you have Dameon Pierce already, who showed that, I mean, I shouldn't say he showed he could be the guy. It's only been 1 week in preseason, but it's reaffirmed, what he looked like in college. And so that's why I'm ready to say he's the guy. But if you already have your RB1, how much are you really realistically wanting to pay and give up for an RB2? So for me, I'd be on more line of Money Matt, fourth and a fifth, something like that. But it would make our offense a lot more dynamic. It really, really would. Paul Hanlon says, actually, never mind. This reminds me of Duke Johnson Jr. all over again. Y'all don't even know how excited and happy I was that we added Duke. Because he was always a guy that had always been underrated everywhere in his career. And he was exactly what we needed in the sense that we needed that third down back, that receiving back to be a mismatch versus linebackers and just be an athlete on the field. And it just never really, in my opinion, transpired for like a consistent period of time, right? When he was brought in, Carlos Hyde had a better season than Duke Johnson did. But would you guys like Duke Johnson's time with us?
I think his first year in 2019, when it was him and Hyde, I think that was excellent. But I don't think it was because he was the best back. I think it was just because he was the perfect complement
Right.
to what Carlos Hyde was.
Thunder and lightning. Chat's bringing up some good points. Stefan says, if we do try and make this trade with the Browns, they might try and finesse some draft capital we got from them. They might try and ask for their picks back instead of getting our picks.
No.
You ain't having that? You ain't having that? Those picks are ours. I mean, we definitely ain't giving them no first rounds or second rounds. I believe we got a third as well from them, but again, I don't think I would give them a third. So I'm good. Music has a good point as well as the other point I wanted to highlight. It doesn't make sense to trade for a running back on a rebuilding squad. That's the thing. I think Kareem Hunt is the type of player that you add when you're a contender, when you already have a good offensive line, and you're really just looking for that last final piece on offense to diversify your offense and give yourself another playmaker. And we're not really at that stage yet. So if we're going to make an investment, if we're going to trade away draft capital, I want us to trade for an offensive lineman. Give me a center. Give me a right guard. Give me someone who can block for these running backs. Because right now, it doesn't matter which running back we put in there, unless her name is Damian Pierce. They ain't running for shit. Alrighty. What other questions we got in the chats? Okay, this is a name I've seen thrown around there a few times. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts on him are. We'll start with you, Money Matt. Eden asks, we should give Jalen Reagor a chance since he's battling for a spot on the Eagles. Reagor was a first-round pick out of TCU, wide receiver. Had some really good college tape, freak athlete, but has not transpired whatsoever in the NFL and has been nearing bust status for them. What are you thinking about this potential addition?
I would welcome Jalen Reagor with open arms. Like, it'd be interesting because with Mechie out for the season, we know Cooks is going to be wide receiver 1, Nico's going to be wide receiver 2. So the slot's going to be interesting because we got Johnny Johnson, Jalen Camp, I know I'm forgetting someone, Chris Moore, Chris Conley. So it'll be interesting to see how that rotation works, but I feel like Jalen Reagor could come here with a change of scenery and kind of rejuvenate the hype he had coming out of college and probably get himself a nice home here. But
we are in the position to take on these kind of like reclamation projects in a sense. That's kind of what you want to do as a rebuilding team. So I do hear where you're coming from. Before I add some to that, Jay, what are your thoughts on Jalen Reagor?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Matt here. My reasons are because he's cheaper and he's younger. And it gives us an option to step away from to give youth or inject more youth into this team. Not saying that our receivers aren't young, because we do have some young receivers, but if you can get Jalen Reagor and possibly resurrect his career,
it would be enticing, man. The talent is there. The production has not in his first 2 seasons. 396 yards, 1 touchdown as a rookie, and then he took a step back, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns as a sophomore. Well, I guess it's kind of even stats. He had more receptions and more touchdowns, but it was for less yards. His catch percentage has not been great. It's been hovering around the high 50s. And he hasn't really produced like you would expect for a first-round pick. And so my thoughts are really, I would give another preseason game to Camp and to Johnny Johnson and those guys, see how they do. If you're confident in what they're showing, roll with those young guys. They're young too. They're younger than Jalen Reagor. So give them that shot. If they don't show up like they did in the first game, go call Philly, see what they would want for Reagor. If it's a day 3 pick, I'm talking 6th round pick, I'll pull the trigger. What pick would you guys be willing to give up for Reagor? Money Matt first.
I'm probably in the same boat with you. Probably a late 5th, somewhere in the 6th round, probably.
Okay, Jay?
I'm on the same boat.
Okay. We do have a lot of those types of picks. Nick loves to trade those for, certain positions of need. We saw it with the Adam Shaheen trade that didn't go through. one guy in the beginning of the offseason, Blake Cashman, who showed out, man. Sometimes it works with Blake Cashman, sometimes it doesn't with Adam Shaheen. So those are the risks you got to take when you're the GM. Music for Everyday Living. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate you, my guy. Why do we have so many people in the stream all of a sudden? Why are we at 105? What's happened? Usually after an hour, it drops off, but y'all are here. I appreciate it. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all's support. Oh my lord. Not None says had flashbacks to Vernon Hargrass and I heard reclamation project. Yeah, that's the thing. More often than not, it doesn't work. But hey, you get some fun stories. You get some entertaining football in the worst ways when you bring on some of these guys, man. Did y'all have high hopes for Vernon, or were you just like, if he does something, it's icing on top?
Honestly, I was like, who? But yeah, no, it is what it is. Any player that comes here, I have high hopes that our coaches can work with him and get him to the right spot. But if they can't, you gave up only a 6-rounder for him and you just cut him.
I hear you. Quick recap for Richard. This is just a chill, casual stream. Not really have much structure to it. Just kind of answering your questions and having some of my Texans thoughts. Team leaders onto the stream. If you do want to join the team, it is an exclusive membership. The link's in the description. It only works on PC/computer/laptop. Unfortunately, not mobile. But you get some nice perks, man. You get some exclusive videos that I've made over the years. Exclusive access to some an interview I did with Jonathan Grenard. I made like a blooper reel. Oh my god, that was so embarrassing. But anyways, some stuff like that. You get to join our Discord and talk with about 100 other Texans fans. Ask me some questions. You'll get your questions answered live on stream more often. And you come onto the stream as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. All right. Watch the film. Says, why do we have to limit our team to 53 players? Why not 60 or even 65? Why do they choose 53? That's a very random number. Is it 25 each side and then 3 special teams? Is that the general idea?
Probably.
Math. I don't know. We got some Colts fans in here. What y'all got to say for the Colts fans?
I'm sorry.
I don't even say anything at the window.
I was gonna say Peyton Manning days have been over. It's been gone.
Yeah, but our Texans House team members can attest that Discord, man, it's a great time. If you were looking for a group chat just to talk Texans ball, Astros, Rockets, whatever you want, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. It's a good time.
Whoever said money can't buy you happiness lied.
And Money Matt comes stacked. He's got the nickname for a reason, my guy. I was gonna ask you this earlier, but I was like, maybe we talk about it off stream. Job, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Just general, how'd the interview go in terms of that sort of stuff, or we can talk about it later. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Anything better than the Watson days? Yikes.
The Watson days were fantastic when they were going good, but the second things started going downhill and he tucked his tail between his legs.
No, he tucked someone else's tail between. That's the difference.
Too many of them, man. Too damn many. I'm happy it's done, man. I'm happy we're finally basically at the end. We just got to hear for the final appeal. How many games, how much money he's losing, all that good stuff. You guys, I don't think I talked to you about it, so give me your predictions for how many games he's losing. What's the fine going to be like? Because I do think there's going to be a fine. Jay, we'll start with you.
I think it's I do agree with what everybody's kind of been reporting with the 1-year minimum suspension. I think it's got to be a year, indefinite with a year minimum, and then I think his fine is going to be high. I think it's going to be like $20 million or something like that. I think it's got to be. I think it has to be. This is unprecedented, right? Like there's nothing else that's been like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they have to say they have to cut into his pay. They have to make his contract toll, and they have to do as much as they can to show, hey, you can't just do this just because you're QB1, right? They didn't work like that.
Yeah, I hear that. $20 million would be a lot. I do hear your reasoning in terms of the fact that it's unprecedented. I hope that they do go that route. I think Beige, his answer is at least where I was thinking. It's not that one's right or wrong. I mean, just random predictions. But $5 million is kind of the ballpark where I was thinking. $20 million is what's his 1 year salary?
He got a bonus of $45 million this year. So I think his yearly salary is like $46 million a year or something like that.
Cut that in half a little bit. Okay. That doesn't, when you look at it that way, taking about half of 1 year salary, just 1 year, $20 million sounds more realistic to me. I do hear that. Jerry Nova out here he's trying to just send Deshaun out of here. 24 games, $30 million. Lordy Lord.
I love it.
Money Matt. We heard Jay's thoughts. We heard Beige's thoughts. We heard Jerry's thoughts. What about you?
I think it's a year and some change, because the longer it takes for like a decision to be made, it's gonna leak into 2023 as well. So
True. I think it's just, this whole thing is so weird that they're under this appeal situation, and yet he's still able to go practice, still able to go play these games and appear on the field in the Cleveland Browns uniform when he's soon to be suspended. Like, what is the point? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem right to me. And have you guys seen the tweets on Twitter from some Browns players and some Browns reporters that they're, the Browns team, the locker room is all behind Deshaun Watson. Yeah, we're the underdogs. Us against the world. Like, oh my gosh. This is not the time to take that stance. It's just not.
That's Lottie Johnson level tweeting right there. That's what that is.
Okay, let's hear what the chat is thinking in terms of the suspension. Lon Moman 44 says 8 games total. Well, what was the one that the judge gave? Was it 6?
You're 6.
It was 6, right? So for them to only go up by 2 games, to me, that would look like a slap on the wrist. That would look like the NFL is going very easy on Deshaun Watson. And I think that's one situation that the NFL will need to avoid. Because if it looks like they are going easy on Deshaun Watson, that is a message that they are not thinking about women's rights and the women that are involved in this, and not really taking this as serious as it should. Because let's not forget that the judge ended up ruling that she thought, he was guilty to warrant a suspension. So something was wrong. And this is another thing I've been meaning to bring up is Deshaun, right before the first preseason game, he essentially backtracked and issued an apology in an interview saying that he's sorry for his actions and the women that he's hurt. And so that was a big change in stance from his previous stance that he never did anything wrong. The truth will set me free type of bullshit. What are your guys' thoughts when you saw that on Twitter in terms of his backtracking statement? Jay?
Honestly, somebody actually kind of brought it. I think it's Hardy Harhar is how you say his name. From a legal standpoint, he says he was not convicted of anything. No, it's the truth is what he's saying. The reality is the judge actually said that he did, right? Like, I know this isn't like court of public opinion. This is like she found evidence that this is true, right? That he did this stuff. And because of that, there's an appeal going on right now for that as well. So that could be like, all of this can be taken into that. This could get reopened, and he could get. I mean, I don't want to wish badly on anybody, but this could get worse.
It could
real fast. I mean, hate to say it, Browns fans, but that's what it is. So
fuck Browns fans.
It is what it is. So yeah, I think I understand where Sue Robinson was coming from, but a year has got to be the minimum based on what she said alone. Based on
the fact that Roger Goodell and the NFL, their initial goal is really looking for a year minimum to indefinite. Indefinite, I don't think it will get to that point just because then they have to keep pushing this decision down the line. And then like after a year, figure out, oh, what does indefinite mean? Is it another year? Is it another how many games? I feel like they want to like be done with this once this ruling is done. Do you think they actually will though, Money Matt, or do you think this is going to continue to drag on?
It's going to continue to drag out because there's, 24 to 26 women. Like, this isn't something that they can just kind of sweep under the rug as quickly as possible. Like, they've got to make sure they get every detail, every inch of this case right, or else it could all go to waste. Like, this is nothing to play around about. So,
yeah, it's very, very serious matter. It seems like we're nearing the finish line, but that finish line keeps getting extended. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. It's been nearing 2 years now since it started. Man, these last 2 years went fast. Yeah,
hard when you're having fun.
There you go, man. There you go. Big Ben was 3 or 4 games, right? That was it.
Ben, he started with 6, and I think it went down to 2 or 4.
You killed it. Okay,
but Big Ben had. So I understand what the question is here, and I've had this same argument with other people.
Yeah,
Big Ben's amount of cases were literally 1/30th of the amount of the cases that Deshaun Watson has. Like, it's not the same thing. Nothing else has even gotten close to this. And also, I think he or she had mentioned something else about. Are we just upset as Texans fans? No, we're not. Like, we thought he was coming back. We wanted him to come back. We wanted him to stay. This has nothing to do with that until we found out all of this stuff was true.
Yeah.
That's when we were like, yo, we don't want this dude. Get him out of here. We don't want this. So his actions have caused us to want him gone.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. When I first heard the trade request, I was like, this can't be real, man. Like let's just do what we can do to mend these, these scars, patch them up, and hopefully get him back because he was a really talented quarterback, man. That's how I felt in the beginning. But case by case, they kept stacking up, and you hear more stories, and the evidence was just getting too much to a point where, like, man, this guy did something. And I don't want any of that sort of conduct to be associated with my favorite football team and the team that I root for and talk about and think about 24/7 every day. Like, that is horrible behavior. So that's when it all changed for me as well. Absolutely. Ooh, we got a tough question here. And I'm pointing this right at you, Money Matt. Would you rather have Jalen Petry or Kyle freaking Hamilton?
To me,
Be careful how you answer this.
I'm trying to think out my words very carefully here. To me, Kyle Hamilton is just a bigger version of Jalen Petry. But with bias here, I'm obviously gonna have to go with Jalen Petry. Like, he can do it all from play down in the box to cover deep. He can do it all. He can lock down your favorite team's receiver. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go Jalen Petry.
Oh shit! Okay. I thought you were gonna mention. Okay. I thought you were team Kyle Hamilton first. There, I was playing with you, man. Money Matt. There is no wrong answer. Those are both my guys. I couldn't care less. Happy Jalen Petry's on our team, man. Hey, yeah, Petry a full round later than Kyle Hamilton might end up being better value. You never know. Give him a case for every case. Give him a game for every case. Mike Lee says. That sounds fair to me. 30 games, 2 seasons.
Jesus Christ.
That would be insane, man. That would be insane. Galen says when Roger Goodell publicly stated what he did, that's not a good look for Watson at all. So that's the other interesting wrench in this is that Roger Goodell, when the NFL appeal came in, Roger Goodell had all the power in the world to be like, okay, this is me. This is all me. I get to drop the hammer. I get to make the decision. I get to say how many games this is. I can make a mark on the world in that sense. And he handed it off. He handed it off to someone else. I don't remember the name right now, but it will not come down to Roger Goodell's decision personally. Do you think that was the right move for Goodell to do, Jay? Or it doesn't really matter?
I think yes and no. Yes, because it shows the players that it's not just going to be like, oh, I didn't like what I got with this independent arbitrator, so I'm going to actually give you what you should have gotten.
Yeah.
But it also is yes for that, but no for the why not, right? In this case, there are a bunch of players and a bunch of people who are like, we had this commercial where we had all this no more stuff. You need to have the strong hand here. But I also think Roger Goodell's it's so open and shut that he's like, it's going to be a year. We're going to get what we want anyway.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Paul has a good question here. When's the next Backpedal podcast coming out? If you guys didn't know, I started a new podcast covering the entire NFL. My boy John Crumpler over at the Texans Wire. Check us out Spotify, Apple Podcasts at the Backpedal Podcast. First episode was John and I. Second episode, we had Rivers McCown, Aaron Wilson, Patrick Storm, Texans Cap, and 713 Houston Sports on. Big Texans episode. That was a lot of fun. And then the third episode, we talked about the Deshaun appeal, the suspension, all that good stuff with Mike Meltzer. He's a radio host in Houston and an attorney as well. So he damn educated me, man. He threw a damn law textbook in my face, absorbed it into my brain. That was crazy. The next episode, we'll do one this week. We missed last week. John went to training camp in Houston, and so it was tough to work around his schedule because he was boots on the ground. But we'll figure it out next week. We will probably get the new ESPN Texans reporter on there. That's what our goal was for last week. We had him. He said yes. We just couldn't find time. But shout out to DJBN. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. But I think that's kind of cool. So hopefully there will be the one this week, Paul. That's my long answer. Okay, let me catch back up on this chat. Damn, y'all going crazy. How are you all looking for time, Jay and Matt?
I'm good. I got time.
I've got time to kill.
Okay. Eden's got a good question. Thoughts on Cameron Grudger Hill? I just don't think he's that good. Was terrible against play action. Shout out to James Foster. He does a lot of film work for now the entire NFL, but he was a Titans guy, and that's how I found him. He showed this graphic that Cameron Grudger Hill was the second worst linebacker in the entire NFL versus play action. So in coverage, he gave up a lot of catches on play action. And what that means essentially is he's biting hard on those run fakes. He's getting faked out, getting drawn in, and getting beaten over the top. So not a good look, especially when you want your linebackers. They're so important in coverage for Lovie Smith. So could Cameron Grudger Hill lose that starting role, Jay? Do you think it would go to someone like Kevin Pierre-Louis, who's had a good camp? Could it go to the rookie Christian Harris eventually? Maybe Garrett Wallow, who's improved a lot? What you thinking?
I wonder if Grudger Hill's trying to do too much. Okay. He was pretty decent last year, I believe, if I remember correctly.
He had a good year in the box.
So I'm wondering if he's trying to come in and do too much rather than what he trying to expand on next year rather than just settle on what he did. I do think someone could take his place.
Yeah.
I think it was Christian Harris is what you said, right? He's been doing pretty good, but he got injured. We'll see, right, with that. I'm not so sure it's going to start the season like that, but it could end the season where he gets taken over.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. I think they'll give it to him right away. But what do you think, Matt?
I think he's trying to do too much off rip because he sees all the additions. Like, he sees Christian Harris. He sees the improvements that Garrett Wallow's making. So I think he's just trying to come out and be too flashy. But so if he settles down, he'll be the starter for a couple weeks. But if he keeps trying to do what he's doing, I think Garrett Wallow comes in and takes his job, or at least until Christian Harris is back to 100%, then the spot's going to go to Christian Harris.
Okay. I hear y'all. Jerry got a good point. I wanted to talk about this last week because what we were going to talk on the back pedal, but we weren't able to record. Roquan Smith requested a trade, and I feel like Texans, at least Twitter, was a little divided on what to do. Very talented guy. For my money, he's a top 5 linebacker in the league. He's young at 25, maybe 26. I don't remember the exact number, but he's still yet to enter his prime. And so if you're a rebuilding team like the Texans, like you don't want to make a trade for a guy that's over 30, right? Not on the same timeline as you, but Roquan Smith would be a guy that's on the same timeline as your team, and he would accelerate it, right? At the end of the day, what we want to do in a rebuild is add talent, whether it's through the draft, whether it's through trades, whether it's through free agency. And a lot of the time, the best way to secure talent, like guaranteed talent, really is in trades. You know, when in the last Backpedal podcast, in the second Backpedal podcast, we're talking Texans cap. You guys know Texans cap, best cap guy in the Texans world. And he brought up this article that, you know, spending in free agency is really, really not guaranteed. And a lot of time, the teams that spend big money end up not seeing the same results relative to how much they're spending. And so that's a bit of a crapshoot. We know the draft is a crapshoot. The last option to improve your team is through trades, man. So with trades, the thing is you're getting, you know, a guaranteed player who've already seen what he can be. I'm talking about Roquan Smith right now. So I was kind of a little bit for it. For me, it comes down to the price tag. I don't know that I would give up a first-round pick this year. I would think about the Browns' first-round pick in 2023. But for me, ideally, it's a second and a third, or a second and a fourth, or a second, a fifth, and a player. Like I'm talking like a low end of the roster, high upside type of player. That's kind of what I was looking at for Roquan Smith. What about you guys? We'll start with Jay, and then we'll go to Matt. What are your thoughts?
I like to have Roquan. I think that would be a really good addition to the team. But it comes down to how much we're going to pay for him, and can we afford him right now? This is where I need Ryan, right? We need GM fanatic in the building, because this is not my forte. I'm not a big salary cap guy, but I do know right now just his salary for this year would be above our cap. So, like, could we afford him right now? I don't know. We'd have to make some cap magic happen.
Well, I would say that the cap is always manipulatable.
Yeah.
And we have so many players on our roster that really aren't going to be on our roster in a year or two. So we have no like long-term commitments. Paying Roquan Smith would be one of those long-term commitments. But between him, who else even is there? Like, it's the rookies that you just drafted, but like Tunsil's contract is going to be up. Titus's contract is this year. Like, there's not many other guys with long-term money. So I think we could make it work in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would want him, though. I think he'd be an excellent upgrade.
Yeah, definitely, man. And he's tailor-made for Lovey's system. You want those lighter, smaller, faster, smarter linebackers that are great in coverage and can defend the run. What do you think, though, Matt?
I'd love Roquan, but like you said, it all depends on the price tag.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So what would you be willing to – what's your maximum that you would pay, and what is your kind of more ideal offer?
Maximum would probably be a second, probably a high-end player, probably someone that – like a young guy with high upside, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Low side would probably be a second, a fourth, probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's honestly – I think this could make sense for the Bears is what if you give them a second-round pick and Christian Harris? So at least you're giving them a linebacker back, same style of linebacker, athletic, smaller, can play well. What would you guys say to that? A second-round pick and Christian Harris? Money, Matt? Yes? No?
If we could keep Christian Harris, I like Christian Harris. So,
okay, maybe second-round pick, Garrett Wallow?
Oh, absolutely. I would go Garrett Wallow in a heartbeat for Roquan Smith, because, like you said, if we could pretty much get two Roquan Smiths, because you said it, Christian Harris is pretty much exactly like Roquan Smith. He's fast, strong, can play in coverage, can attack the ball. So if we can have two of those on the same linebacker core, it'd be a wrap.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. Jay, what do you think? Would you be willing to deal Christian Harris, or would you stop at kind of Garrett Wallow? Like, that's the type of player that you're more looking forward to trade.
I think it has to be the Garrett Wallow. I think Christian Harris is – what we've seen is he could be really good. Do we want to give that up for Roquan? No, I think we want him and Roquan. I think that's what you're trying to get. So I think Garrett Wallow, maybe a second or a third as well. But
So second, third, and
no. A second or a third and Wallow.
I got you.
I think because it's Wallow, you probably have to go with the second.
Yeah, definitely. I hear where you guys are coming from. For me, if all it takes is second and Christian Harris, man, I'm pulling the trigger. And that for me is I have the different opinion because I wasn't as high on Christian Harris out of college as some other people were. I will eat my shit if I'm wrong. I don't think he's gonna be a bust. I just don't think he's gonna be a Roquan Smith either. I mean, Roquan Smith was a top 10 talent in that class, first round pick. He's now an all-pro, top 5 linebacker that does it all. Like, there's not really a hole in his game. He would be the best player on our defense, arguably the best player on our team right away from day one. So to give up a rookie who hasn't showed anything yet, who is dealing with injuries now and can't even get on the field, I'm okay with that. Especially if it means we don't have to give up any of those first-round picks. That's my view. But I hear where you guys are at. We do have to pay him, and he is looking to kind of reset that market. But hey, we got to pay someone. We got to pay for talent eventually, man. The cap is the least of my worries in that sense. The absolute least. Okay, man. I think this is gonna do it for this stream. An hour going on 30. I really don't want to because we got a lot of people in the stream. I really appreciate you guys for coming through. I hope you guys enjoy these member Mondays. We're trying to keep it at every single Monday, every week. I love the vibe. I love being able to get to talk to y'all more. Like, I love doing the podcast with Quinton, but I feel like it's harder to interact with you guys at the same time. So I apologize for that. And that's why, I want to bring these in, So we'll be back next week with another episode of Member Mondays. If you guys do want to join the streams like Jay and Money Matt did today, hit the link in the description. Join the Texans Thoughts team. Choose from the 2 types of memberships you can get. Both of them do get you access to the exclusive Discord, which is fire. Absolute fire. So, yeah, thank you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, everyone. Remember, and come back for more. And you guys want to hit it with me? Okay, take care. Come back for more. And remember, the film don't lie.